Good morning, everyone. It's truly an honor and privilege to be up here talking with you on behalf of the Collaborative Research Network. And as Dr. Powell mentioned, it surely has been better live. It's been such a great week. So let me just wait a second for my slides to come up. One before that, I think. The Kliethermes name. There we go. Awesome. So on behalf of the Collaborative Research Network, I will give you a little bit of a background of who we are, what we do. I'll start us off, and then my close colleague, Dr. Asif, will kind of finish us off. So first of all, this is our outstanding group of leaders on the Collaborative Research Network leadership team. We have thought leaders, high-level researchers from really all across the nation, and they spend a lot of time thinking about the strategic vision and implementing our initiatives for the Collaborative Research Network. So on behalf of all of us, the membership, I would just like to thank them for their dedicated efforts. And I'm going to put in a plug. If you are interested in joining the Collaborative Research Network leadership team, we put out a call nearly every December for applications to join us. So if this is of any interest to you, please look out for that. So what do we do? Well, our mission is to foster collaborative research so that we can advance the clinical practice of sports medicine. And how do we do that? We do that by creating opportunities for high-impact research that can actually change practice on a policy level. We try and develop the pipeline for future researchers within AMSSM so that we can continue to conduct quality research and answer necessary questions that you experience daily. And then we try and translate that research into the community. The truth is, even if you're not a researcher, there are key questions in sports that occur daily. They happen at the highest level, and you see them in the media, and they happen in your clinic with your youngest athletes. And those questions all deserve answers. And if we're going to be taken seriously, I'm going to semi-quote Dr. Puffer, we need to create our own body of knowledge, right? And so that's really what the CRN is trying to do. So whether you're a researcher or you're a consumer of research, I think the CRN has some relevance to you. We work and discuss regularly our strategic vision and direction for the CRN. When we were first getting started, we really spent a lot of time establishing our programming and really what we wanted to be our foundation and our core. And I think we've done a really great job establishing a grant research program, conducting research summits, and we'll talk a little bit about that with you here in a minute. But where we're focusing right now is developing mentorship opportunities and developing the pipeline of future researchers to really help our researchers go from those first stages where they're just kind of starting to walk to really well-seasoned researchers that can make a splash in the field. And then we really want to kind of progress to this idea of data because as a biostatistician, data is money, right? I think that data is incredibly important, and so we're really trying to consider how do we get data, how do we use that data effectively. And throughout all of that, we're constantly thinking about partnerships. Funding is always a big issue, and then communication and collaboration, both internally and externally to AMSSM. So really quickly, we really have worked really hard to create a diverse and robust portfolio through our grant program. And as you can see here, we've conducted studies in concussion. We have ongoing studies in cardiology, ultrasound, osteoarthritis. So we really continue to try and diversify and grow our portfolio. And I'm really excited to honor and announce our most recent award recipients who are looking at a functional progression program in Spondy, and they're in adolescent athletes. So we're really excited to work with this group moving forward. And so we continue to grow this research program, answer key questions that come from all of you, that come from the membership, and we really try and adapt and adapt to that. So I'm really excited about this slide. We are in our 6th year of existence, and we now have a research impact in some capacity in 30 states across the U.S., and I think we're wanting to continue to grow that and continue to make that more robust and eventually hit all 50 states, maybe. That would be a great goal. So just really quickly about our research summits. Our research summits really stemmed because we felt like there are areas in sports medicine that we want to be known as leaders. And these were just a few of the topics that we've thought about and discussed and conducted research summits on, where we want to be a known leader, starting in 2019 with the Youth Early Sports Specialization Summit, moving on to our virtual summit in 2021 on exercise medicine and physical activity promotion. And then we're busily planning our third research summit in 2023 on health disparities. It's a summit called Sports Medicine for All. So really excited about these. These obviously have research outputs, but I think we've learned that there's so much more than that. And so just a brief example for you, our Youth Early Sports Specialization Summit in 2019, we're still talking about it. We still have ongoing collaborations, and that's a great metric of success for us. And one of the areas that we didn't quite expect we kind of have a foot in is kind of advocacy. And so some of the outcomes from this summit included the development of community engagement awards, and you're going to hear from two of our award winners later this afternoon in the youth sport and community session that the CRN is hosting. And we also developed a Play, Stay, Thrive toolkit to really provide evidence-based information to the community on healthy and safe youth sports participation. I'm going to turn the mic over to Dr. Asif, and he's going to take it home.
Thank you, Steph. As Steph mentioned, our goal is not only to impact your clinical practice, but really to get out into the community and also to impact the world. Sometimes you do that by advocacy, as Steph talked about, through the Youth Sports Specialization Summit, and other ways are just doing things like education. Our last summit talked about exercise medicine and physical activity promotion, and we really recognized that there was a need for us to learn more on how to educate our learners and ourselves on how to do this in our practice. You'll see in the session later today that we're really excited that the clinical practice guideline that we put together as part of this summit was published in January of this year, and now there are modules that you can incorporate into your own practice and also with the learners that you train every day. We are committed to justice, equity, and inclusion, and we're excited that that's a huge part of our portfolio. We're going to be putting on a summit next year that I think are going to answer some key questions that you all as members will see can help you in your practices, the community, and the world abroad. We do more than that. We are, as Steph talked about, really focusing on trying to train the future workforce on research and how to do that appropriately. Tina Master and Dan Cushman are working on a couple mentorship projects that you'll hear about in the coming months. One is focused on a track for fellows and another for junior faculty that, again, I think will elevate our research capacity within our organization. We work closely with the research committee, such as Andy Peterson and Morteza Kodehi, trying to enhance research abstract submissions, augmenting our membership grant applications, bolstering our dissemination process, and enhancing our advocacy efforts. We're working on creating centers of excellence in specific areas that we can own as sports and exercise medicine experts. And Steve Marshall has been doing a great job of networking with organizations like the Corey to help us on these efforts. People are now coming to us to partner with us for our research. We received a $4 million grant to examine hamstring injuries from the NFL. And we're also partnering with key organizations such as the Army of Survivors to understand sexual violence and how we can play a better role in trying to make this better for athletes and patients in the future. When you think about our portfolio broadly, we've done a lot in the past 6 years. And again, thanks to the leadership from Anthony Butler and the support of our board of directors and the whole organization and the foundation, we now have a portfolio that spans beyond just 1 or 2 studies. You can see here cardiac conditions, concussion, ultrasound, exercise, hamstrings, justice, equity, and inclusion, mental health, musculoskeletal pain, abuse in sport, youth sports, all things that are pertinent to our practice. And we want to continue to grow with your support. Again, we want to be leaders in research, education, and advocacy. We want to help you in your clinical practices, and we are dedicated to helping the future researchers within our organization. Our goal is to answer pertinent questions that you see in your clinical practices, and ultimately, we want to be leaders in sports and exercise medicine in the world, and we hope that you will support us in our efforts to do this in the future.